You just like, we're gonna do this whole big superstar entrance, and you're like, hey guys, I'm just wandering up here. You might as well come on up now. Hey guys, our next guest is a wonderful voice actress. Please give a round of applause to Erika Harlacher. You get your own music.
I know, I feel like I'm at like
seriously, we had pyrotechnics, we had smoke machines, and then you're
well,
like...
you can still do that if you want.
No, it's too late now.
Bummer. I ruined everything. I'm so sorry.
Back to your question. We're doing great. How are you guys doing? Doing good? You guys had fun so far today? Yeah. Kind of like the idea of having your own convention right here in Columbus, maybe? Yeah. About time, right? Yeah. Good, because I may have some good news for you guys tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, it's going great so far.
Absolutely.
Like, I've loved it, so.
They've been fantastic.
Yeah.
The audience is awesome here.
Right? Yeah, great.
All right. Well, we do have a couple of questions. Hi. Hello, good to see you again. This is Aaron. This is my friend Aaron.
Hi.
Sorry, I got one probably everybody wants to know.
Okay.
Do you know when the final season for Demon Slayer is coming out?
I wish. I don't know anything. Honestly, they tell me nothing. All I know is that I recorded for the first episode that was in theaters. That's where my knowledge ends. But hopefully not too long. You know, we'll see. I'm excited to have lines again, so that's fun.
Oh, I've read the manga, so I know.
I also have been spoiled. Yes, as soon as I was cast as Shinobu, people went, "Hey!" and I was like, oh, "Okay, thank you. Now I know all the things."
More than you hoped to know.
Yes, so I'm very prepared. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
So, how was recording for Your Lie in April, and did it cause as much emotional impact and damage to you as it did to me?
Are you still scarred like he
Oh,
is?
yes. I loved recording for Your Lie in April. So I play Emmy in that, the pianist girl. And she's so cool. I showed up to the session. I was wearing a red dress by accident, and then the client was like, "Oh, she wears a red dress in the episode. You came so prepared." And I was like, "Yes, I knew that, and came prepared on purpose. Thank you." But I loved the thing I loved about recording that scene, her like "Let It Ring" scene, is there's no lip flaps. So I was allowed to just like act. You know, I didn't have to worry about the specific timing of all the words. So that made that scene really fun because I could just like put a lot of emotion into it. I didn't have to worry about the technical side of things as much. So yeah, Emmy has some emotional stuff, but not the super damaging parts. So I feel like I was spared. But it's a beautiful show and I love it.
Beautiful is a way to describe it.
Yes, yeah. it's a beautifully tragic. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, what's your name?
Hello.
Hello, my name is Destiny.
Hi.
I just wanted to know, as someone who would like to become a voice actor themselves, I just want to know, I guess, the ways of trying to get into the industry.
Yeah.
And my ultimate goal would actually be to even have my own recording studio and everything.
Ooh,
because
yeah.
I'm very much into acting and the process, the whole entire process. Really, I'm currently studying to be an audio technician and everything.
So before you jump on that, let me ask a couple questions. Are you you're currently in some productions? You've done productions in the past, whether it's been like a high school play or you've done acting, correct?
Yes, I've done it before.
Have you done any voice acting?
I've done both.
You have done
voice acting, the tech as well.
So I'm gonna tell you one thing, okay? Do never come to a microphone at one of these things and say I'm an aspiring voice actress, because you've already done it. You're not aspiring anything. I'm a voice actress and I would like to go to the next level.
Yeah.
Because you are a voice actress. Whether you believe that or not, you are.
It's true. It's true.
And your entry was a little bit,
yeah.
I don't know that she's going to be able to replicate your way into the industry, but
yeah, so here's the thing. You're already on a great track. The number one thing is to just practice acting and hone your skill. It's like a muscle, right? You're not going to go to the gym and suddenly deadlift 400 pounds. You got to work up to it. The problem with giving advice is, every single person has a different way that they got into it, because especially when I got into it over a decade ago, it was starting to be a thing that people knew more about, but it was still very I was a theater major in college, and if I mentioned that I wanted to do voice acting, they'd go, oh, not real acting. Why would you want to do that? Now I get asked to come speak at that same college to their acting classes because so many of them want to be voice actors, and it's like a whole different thing. So back then it was really like we all accidentally stumbled into voice acting. For me personally, I really enjoyed anime. I loved video games and cartoons, and I never like grew out of it like some of my other friends did. And so I wanted to work in some capacity in that space, like maybe make cartoons or something like that. And then I happened to go to an anime convention as a fan, and I saw an advertisement for a voice acting class. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So I took it, and then Tony Oliver was the teacher, and he was like, you should do this for real. And I was like, oh, it's a job? Okay. So I changed my major to theater, and and then I just worked hard. So I think the best advice I can give is to just take as many classes as you can, because before I had an agent, that was how I got on audition lists. I would take voice acting specific classes, and there would be other people in the class who were getting auditions, and then they would see me work, and we'd get to know each other, you know, and then they would get an audition, and they'd be like, oh, this girl from my class I think would be really good for this role. Can I send it to her? And then the casting people would be like, sure. And then they'd send it to me, and then I wasn't awful. So then they were like, you can be added to the list, sure. And so that's really how a lot of people do it before you have an agent. And in order to get an agent, you really need like a demo, which you shouldn't make until you feel like you've plateaued in your abilities. Like you've learned and learned and learned, and now you've kind of flattened out because you're like, okay, cool, I've learned a lot, and I'm feeling confident. So yeah, it's so hard to give specific advice. It's just to keep working at it. And honestly, Atlanta's a good place to be. You know, sometimes I go to conventions that are like kind of in the middle of the country and nowhere, and then I go, oh, well, the pandemic made it better, so you could do stuff from home, but also you have the advantage of being in a location where you can like actually go find in-person acting jobs. One of my friends, Amanda Miller, voices Boruto, and she moved out here a few years ago, and she flies out to record like Sailor Moon and Boruto and stuff like that. So yeah, my advice is to just keep going. You're doing a great job. You got this. I hope we work together someday. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have you picked back up the improv stuff that you were doing before the pandemic?
No.
Why not?
Because I was a part of the Second City Conservatory in Hollywood, and then the pandemic happened, and we tried to do a few classes on Zoom. Improv on Zoom
Which is great for improv.
Is the worst thing in the world. I was like, this is torture. So I was like, I'm going to stop and wait until we go back in person. They never reopened the Hollywood branch. Yeah,
Oh.
It's just gone now.
Weird.
It's only in Chicago. And so I guess I will never finish my conservatory. It's fine. I could start over at Groundlings, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a lot. Hello.
What's your name?
Hey, I'm Avery, and
Hey, Avery.
my question is, what's the most fun you've ever had voicing a role?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. I think probably. Ooh. Okay. So I am Kyrie in Final Fantasy VII, and in Rebirth that just came out, I sing a song. And I was very excited to go in to record this song because it's so dumb and funny and poppy and so energetic. And that was one of the most fun recording sessions ever. My goal is to sing in projects. I just like always want to sing. They cast me as a bard in Genshin and then said, he doesn't sing. And I went, why would you do this to me? Get my hopes up and then crush them. I bullied them into letting me sing at one point. It's cool. But yeah, the Kyrie song is one of my all-time favorite recording moments. And I think it came out really well. It's very funny. My husband had it stuck in his head for like 2 weeks after the game came out. So, success. Thank you.
Good question. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Kaylee, and I was wondering how you feel about Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter.
I love Kurapika. I want to voice him again. He never got a conclusion. My poor sad boy. He's so sad and angry, and I just want him to be happy. I'm hoping at some point they do at least like a special or like a movie to wrap things up eventually. We'll see. Hopefully the mangaka feels better soon and then can finish it. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello.
Name's Alan.
Hi.
Have you ever been tempted to, or do you think it'd be funny if you drunk acted Fenty?
Do you think it'd be fun
like,
to get drunk
like
and
if I
then work?
showed up drunk for realsies?
Yeah, something like that, instead of just sounding that tired.
I think it wouldn't be fun because I would be panicking the whole time. I'd be like, oh God. Here's the thing. I record most of my Genshin sessions from my home studio.
Well, you can do whatever you want.
Well,
Yeah, tell the boss that. That's exactly. I'm at home. I can do whatever I want.
Here's the thing. I'm not really an audio engineer. The pandemic was so stressful because they suddenly were like, okay, we need you to sound like a professional studio in 3 days. Good luck. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And then the engineers would be like, is your blippity blop set to blockity bloop blop blop? And I was like, yeah, sure. Does it sound like it's set to that? Then yes. And even now, years later, they'll say, is it at 24 blah, blah, blah? And I go, yeah, it is. Thanks. I've turned down a lot of things to them, so they would have told me if it was wrong, I think, at this point. But yeah, I feel like I don't drink that often in real life.
Yeah.
And when I do drink, I don't think I'd be good at acting anymore. I just get very giggly and like louder than normal, which if you can imagine, I know. So I think I much prefer pretending to be drunk as Venti. It could be an experiment. Maybe 10 years in, you know, I'll be like, hey, what's up? And they'll be like, oh God, here she comes. It's Venti again. Thank you.
See, you didn't get shot.
Good job. Good work.
Hello, what is your name?
Dominic.
Hi.
What was your favorite script for 7 Millisins?
Okay, I don't remember specific scripts, but my favorite, I think my favorite Elizabeth moment is at the end of season 1 when she has her like big helpful moment after a whole season of being like, I'm not helpful. And then she saves the day. And then season 2 starts and she goes, but how can I help? And I go, hello, you just saved the day. Remember how that happened? But yeah, the finale of season 1 was so cool. I loved it so much. And that's, Seven Deadly Sins is a show that like before I was an actor, when I was just an anime fan, would have been totally my jam to just watch. So while we were recording, I was like, this is so cool. Yeah, so I think the end of season 1 is my favorite. Thank you.
Good question. Hello, what's your name?
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Jay.
Hello.
Okay, so I looked at your banner,
Yes.
and I've actually noticed they actually had 2 roles in like 2 different shows. Like you played 2 people in Fate and 2 people in Dun Dun Rompa. But I also noticed you played that blue-haired girl from Toradora.
Ami, yeah.
Yeah, Ami. It got me thinking. What was your first ever like role that you've ever done in anime?
My first ever role?
Like, do you want to skip like the wall and stuff? That's like
Yeah,
actual...
so I did, I think I was in a couple of wall sessions. So my first voice acting teacher was Tony Oliver, who directs a bunch of stuff. He's, you know, and he was like the director of Power Rangers back in the day. He is an actor also. He plays Lupin in Lupin the Third. He's great. And so I got an internship at Bang Zoom Entertainment in their production department when I was still in college because I was like, I want to just be around, you know? Like, and they were like, oh, you're a theater major. Do you want to be a voice actor? And I was like, yes, please. So they were like, oh, you could like sit in on some of the sessions and see how it works. And Tony was directing a lot at the time at that studio, and he was like, hey, I remember you. And I was like, I took your advice and I changed my major to theater and put all my hopes and dreams on this. Hey, no pressure. And he was like, cool. So he would let me sit in on his sessions. I think the very first one I sat in on was a K-On! Session with Christina V, who now is one of my friends. And at the time I was like, I know who Christina V is. Wow, she's so talented. Look at her go. Yeah, she's so cool. And so then I did, like, Tony threw me into a couple of Walla sessions. For those who don't know, Walla is like group stuff. So if you ever see an anime and they're like, at school and you hear a bunch of just like blah, 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 of like students in the background saying random nonsense that you can't really understand, that's Walla. They go in and they go, okay, this scene is like a minute long and it's in a classroom, so be a student for a minute. Okay, go! And then all of us at the same time, there's like 6 of us in there at once, we all go, oh no, I didn't do the homework. Did you get the homework done? What is he talking about? And we just for like a whole minute. It's chaos. But then my first role was actually in K-On! It was one of the student characters. She had a name. It might have been K-8. She has like 3 lines, you know, it was like not that much. But it was like a named character and I was like, oh, gasp, wow, look at me. And then because I was working at Bang Zoom, which was where they were recording it, I had like production work and they also had me as the receptionist for a while. And there was one day after I'd recorded where I like didn't want to talk to people at reception, you know, I was having an antisocial day. And I was like, can I go shred papers in one of the booths? Because we would do it in the sound booths, because sound booth. And they were like, sure. So I went in and the engineer for K-On! Was editing the episodes. And the way that a recording booth works is there's the part I go in is where we record, and then there's like a window, and then the engineer's on the other side of the window in a separate room. But there's a TV in both rooms. I don't think he realized that the TV in the booth was on, but I wasn't going to tell him because I wanted to watch K-On! That would be fun. So I was like, awesome, I'm going to watch him edit this episode. And then suddenly I heard my own voice happen, and I had an existential crisis where I was like, that just sounds like me. Everyone's going to know I'm not an anime character. I'm just a me. And they're all going to go, who's that? Oh, no. And it was terrifying.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like,
yeah.
Whenever I hear my voice on the camera, it's like, wow,
yes.
this is my voice, man.
Right? I remember so distinctly, and then he had to keep playing the line because he had to like move it over for the lip flaps, so it was like over and over again, and I was like, stop it, you're torturing me! But yeah, so that was my first like named character, but my first like bigger character was actually Ami in Toradora. That was my first like more main character in something. And it was very, very exciting. And I'm so happy people still like Toradora so much. It's one of my favorites.
I mean, I haven't seen it myself, but I've seen some clips. And I can see why it's really popular. Like it's like this fight, that fight scene with Titan and Sumer.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the whole thing. Like, wow, it was. For a romance story, they know how to animate to the fight.
It's such a good show. And since that was NIS America's very first anime dub, I don't know if you guys will understand how unprecedented this is, but they were like, take as much time as you need to make it perfect, which never happens. Especially nowadays with simuldubs, they're like, yeah, that was fine. You got all the words out, good, let's move on. So for Toradora, it was like, we had the luxury of, we would finish the scenes and then we would go back and watch them through. And the director would be like, do you have any ideas? Like anything that you want to change? And I was like, I don't know. Do you have anything you want to change? And he would be like, let's like finesse this one part a little bit more. So it's one of my favorite dubs I've ever been a part of. And I think that's part of why, I mean the show itself also just stands the test of time, but I think that's why the dub is kind of still very well loved. So. I wish they'd let us do that more often, but you guys all want to watch the anime right away. It's fine, whatever. Thank you.
Good question. Okay. I appreciate it. Also, one more thing.
Yeah.
For anyone who's saying that voice acting is not a real job, not real acting, they need to reevaluate their lives, because there is no reason for that disrespect.
Right? Well, you know the funniest part is one of my teachers that had been the most vocal about like voice acting's not a real acting thing. After I started being a voice actor, guess who gave me their resume to pass on? And I was like, well, have you done voice acting? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, man, you could take a class. And she was like, what? So.
You proved somebody wrong, and that is respect right there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Caitlin.
You had to think
Love
about
your
that for a
cosplay.
second.
Well, I go by Kate a lot too, so
Which would you prefer us to call you?
it don't matter. Kate, just
This is my friend Sammy.
Katie.
What question do you have?
So what do you think your top 3 most popular characters? Because it's like,
Ooh.
I was curious, like I didn't realize how many characters you like, voice. I'm like, oh dang, I've watched almost every anime or played almost every game. So So who do you think your top 3 most popular are?
Ooh, that's so hard because I feel like every convention I go to, I think I know, and then suddenly at that convention it's like everyone loves Kakagurui, and I'm like, oh god, okay, hold on, I ran out so fast. I think probably currently Venti is one of my most popular because Genshin is like insane and everybody's playing it. And On from Persona, I think as well, because we've done so many of those games. And everyone, you know, when you play them, you get really attached to the characters, so that people really love them. And then the third one's kind of a toss-up. I think probably Shinobu, because Demon Slayer is so big right now. But I think Kurapika's a close 4th. I was gonna say 2nd, but no, wait. And also Elizabeth is pretty up there too. I've been lucky to play some characters that you guys all seem to like, so that's good, thanks.
I was trying to decide, so it's like, oh, Kurapika, or do I want, I'm like her name, but from Daniel Roth, I'm like trying to look online, like what's the cheapest thing that I can buy this time? And
That's the way to hit a con. It's like, I got something here, it didn't cost
When
much.
I was in Japan, I saw so many Shinobu figures that were like 1,000 yen, which is like $10 or like $6. And I was like, oh, well, I have to buy all of these figures, obviously. My husband was like, okay, let's buy a new suitcase because you bought too many figures of yourself. We can't get them home.
If I go to Japan today, I would have worn my Nezuko today and not tomorrow.
Oh, man.
You'll see me tomorrow. I'm going to get my stuff signed.
Nice! Well, I'll see you there. Yay!
Thank you. Good questions.
Hello, Joker.
Hello, my name's Isaac.
Hi.
And you've had many roles with many people. But who do you think you've had the most fun recording with?
Ooh, like which character is the most fun, or like which team is the most fun to record with, like director?
Like team, so like fellow voice actors with you,
Ooh.
directors.
Well, unfortunately, most of the time I record all on my lonesome. I don't get to be with the other actors, which is so sad. I've done a few American animation little kid show things that I'm able to be in the booth with the other actors for, and I'm always like, oh, yay, we can actually talk to each other. How fun. How crazy is that? But the director is always there. One of my favorite directors, they're all great. I've had only good directors, thankfully, which has been good. One of my favorites to work with is Chris Kaysen, who directed Seven Deadly Sins. He's so funny. And also I'm a big fan of his because I was a Fullmetal Alchemist fan, and he plays Gluttony. He plays Gluttony. And I was like, whoa, that's so cool, you're directing me, what? So yeah, he's very funny. Tony's also one of my favorites, very first, voice acting teacher. So when I was voicing Kurapika in Hunter x Hunter, I was very nervous because Kurapika is like almost an adult man. And when they sent me the auditions, I got Gon, Killua, and Kurapika, and I emailed them back and I was like, did you send me this almost adult man on accident? And they were like, no, he's voiced by a woman in Japanese. They want kind of like an androgynous sound. And I was like, okay. And then of course that's the one that I got, and I was like, oh God, what if everyone's furious that I'm voicing this guy, and they're all gonna be like, nah, that's a lady, blah. And so I was really happy that Tony was directing because he was very, he knows all of my strengths and everything, and he'd be like, okay, remember, keep it in your core, and if I ever started sounding a little too feminine, he'd be like, all right, hold on, you gotta get back into that Kurapika zone. So yeah, he's probably my top favorite, just because he's like my first mentor. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hey, I'll try not to break your tape this time.
It would be 2 for 2, so that would be kind of cool if you did. Throw the microphone on the ground. That one's not mine, so, whatever.
Well, I think I'll let somebody else.
Okay, yeah, don't actually do it.
My questions may show my ignorance of anime voice acting and that sort of thing. Do you record just one character at a time or multiple?
Ooh, that's a good question. So if I'm playing more than one character in a show, which often happens if like I'm playing a bunch of incidental characters, which is like, soldier number 2
right.
and like random girl in classroom or something like that. Right. Or if I have a character that doesn't have a lot of lines in an episode, they pay me for the whole session, so they want to try and make me work more. So if I go in for like 3 lines for Elizabeth from 7 Deadly Sins, then they're like, okay, well, we're paying you already for 2 hours, so how about you play all these other random people? And I'm like, cool. But what we'll do is we'll record all of one character in that group of episodes that we're doing that day first. And then we go back and we start the other characters. Yeah. It's a good question. Because I think some people think maybe we like switch back and forth in the moment. But I think that would be easy to get our voices a little smooshed together.
That actually runs to my corollary question is, how do you keep track of all the voices in your head?
We have wonderful audio engineers who will, when I am playing a reprisal, so a character that I've played before, the first thing that we do every session is we go in, they set up the microphone, and then they play vocal reference of what we did previously. And then they play it, and then I repeat.
Okay.
And sometimes I'm like, I so know how this character sounds, I feel like I don't even need it. And then they play it, and I'm like, oh, whoops, she is not as high-pitched as I thought she was. So yeah, it's the reason that people are consistent is because of the great audio engineers.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
hello.
Hello, my name is Amelie.
Hi.
I have probably a couple of questions. One is, do you think you'll be in any other Hoyoverse games? Because I know there's this new game, Honkai, came out, and they're coming out with another game as well.
Yeah. Okay, so originally, when Honkai was coming out, they were like, Genshin voice actors, you can't be in it. And then they realized, whoopsie.
We hired everybody already.
Everyone's already in that. So we can't do that anymore. So I think it was when Alejandro announced that he was in Honkai. Zach Aguilar, who plays Ether, texted me and was like, hey, what the heck? Are we allowed to be in this game? I thought we weren't allowed to. And I was like, yeah, me too. What's going on here?
And then you have Rosaria.
Yeah. So now that we know, potentially, we'll have to wait and see. I'm currently in my career, I'm only doing like union auditions right now, so I'm trying to sweet talk them and be like, what if you gave me health insurance? And then all of us got health insurance. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my God, crazy.
And do you think by any chance it would be like how Christina V was also in Hell of a Boss, but do you think you could be in Hell of a Boss too?
I would love to be in Hell of a Boss. Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be so much fun. My goal is to do more like American animation stuff because I love anime, I love video games, it's all great. But with American animation, they're animating to you, so it's more, I don't know, it's like more freeing, I guess, as an actor. And I just think that's so fun. And I might get to be in the room with other actors. Whoa, crazy. So yeah, I would love to be in that at some point. I just need them to send me some auditions, please. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, Nezuko.
Ready?
Okay, and what's your question?
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One is, what is your favorite role you've ever played?
My favorite role ever. Oh, it's such a hard question. I think I have to say Ann from Persona just because she's the most similar to me as a person in a video game. And also I've played her for so many gajillions of hours at this point because of all the really long games that she's in. And all the like random, she'll be in like, there's a phone game and they're doing a Persona crossover and then there's Ann. So yeah, I think her.
And my second question is, do you consider Paimon emergency food?
Of course, Paimon is emergency food, duh! Just don't tell Paimon that, okay? She gets kind of weird about it.
Actually, I have another question. What dish would Paimon be best?
Ooh, I think a Paimon custard would be the best, right? Because she's so sweet. And a little bit salty, which is good. Sea salt ice cream, the best. Thank you.
That's all right.
You're my favorite voice actors. Thank you for this opportunity.
Aw, thank you. So sweet. Hi.
Hello, I'm Logan.
Hi.
I was curious about with the rumors of Hunter x Hunter, with the Dark Continent getting animated maybe soon.
I wish I had info. You guys will know the answers to that before me. Yeah. They don't tell the dub actors anything until.
I remember you were talking about earlier with Kurapika getting a better ending with Dark Continent coming out, and it's
I know.
Dark Continent.
I know. I'm like, please. I at least just want like a little, like 6 episodes or something. Just something. I'm like, hey, back when I recorded Kurapika, he was like the lowest on my register. Now he's only medium low, so I'm ready,
Questions. What what do you like more, voicing good or bad?
That's a great question. I really like voicing villains, but they never let me do it. They're always like, you sound so sweet. You're gonna be the nice person. And I'm like, okay.
God, I would love to see
But it's so, I actually, I can't say what it is, but I'm in a thing where I got to be this like really insane villain who one of the, okay, the two voice references that they wanted was either Yzma from the Prisoner Crew, or they sent a video of a parrot. And I was like, this is the greatest moment of my life. And she got to do some cackles. I'm very excited about it. Hopefully it comes out soon and then I'll talk about it on social media. But I was like, yay, finally, I just get to be like mean. It's so fun. Yeah, I mean, listen, I love playing my sweet little beans. But sometimes it's fun to just be like, I'm the monster! Rah!
Agreed.
Thank you.
The second one, would you try motion capture acting like
I would
the voice acting?
love to do motion capture, yes. So, that is one of my acting goals, to do motion capture, because it combines like my love of theater with my love of voice acting, and you get to be like again, with acting with other actors, which is clearly one of my favorite things. I've taken some motion capture classes. I think I need to go to the gym a little more before I do motion capture. They were like, okay, we're gonna crouch and pretend that you're like in, a Call of Duty type game, and you're gonna crouch and hide behind all the walls and go back and forth across the floor. And I did one time, and I was like, I'm gonna die. And they were like, you're too, they were like, you're too high up, they can see you. And I was like, I'm tall. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, eventually, yes, I would love to. I'm gonna go lift some more weights, alas, which is not my favorite thing to do, so we'll see.
We do need to move on to the next guy. No, it's not your fault. I gotta keep us going, so thank you though.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, you gonna bring us home? Last question. What do we got?
Hey, my name's JJ. I'm here with a few of my D&D friends, and we actually named our group after the 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So I have a very quick two-part question.
Yes.
So somebody asked what your favorite role was, which is kind of a common question for voice actors. I want to take it the other direction. What was your least favorite role?
Oh no. Okay, I want to preface this by saying that all the projects I've worked on have been awesome and amazing, and everyone's great, and I love them, and the projects are great, and I'm glad you guys all like them. Okay, everything's good. Personally, there's one character that like actually injured me, so therefore, he's not my favorite, and that was Dante from Beyblade. And listen, I love that everyone loves him so much. Nothing against him. But my dude yells every single freaking line. Like, when he's happy, he's yelling. When he's sad, he's yelling. When he's angry, he's roaring. They wrote in the script roar because he yells all the time. They can't write yell. They have to write roar. There was one time where he comes back in subsequent seasons, which I was like, and his first line in one of the subsequent seasons was a 10-second long roar, which you might be like, 10 seconds, that's not that bad. Try to scream at the top of your voice and time it on your phone. I was seeing spots. I was like, I'm gonna pass out. Oh my God. And normally I can do 4 hours at a time. No problem, even if I'm doing boy voices, like Venti, I can be Venti all day. Dante, after 1 hour, I would be like, okay, I think I need a little bit of a break. Thankfully, it was Tony directing, and he was like, cool, we're not going over 2 hours. 1 is preferred. I was like, thank you, Tony. He tried to warn me before I got cast. He was like, you're getting a callback for this. Just so you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of yelling. It's a lot. And I was like, I got it. Tony, I've yelled before. Please. I was in Hunter x Hunter. We did fights and stuff. No, different. So yeah, so that's the only character that I've dreaded sessions for. I lost my upper octave for a whole year. And so just because of that, he's not my favorite one in the whole world. But I'm glad people love him so much. They also made us say 3, 2, 1, let it rip every single freaking time, and I was like, you can reuse this, please. I've screamed it 70,000 times at this point.
Plenty to
Yes.
Second part is, what is one role that you like covet above all other roles?
Like that I play or that I would want to play?
Want to play.
I used to say something in Pokemon, but now I'm in Pokemon, so I gotta change my answer. A named character in Kingdom Hearts is like my ultimate. I try not to have specific goals because there's hundreds of actors that are auditioning for everything, you know, and also Kingdom Hearts is a Disney thing. They love casting Disney, you know, childhood actors that are grown-ups now, whatever. But that would, if I ever got to be a named character in Kingdom Hearts, I would be like, oh my gosh, I did it all. My career has peaked and I can retire. I won't, but I could. So yeah, thank you.
Good questions. Hey, have you guys had fun this last hour? Well, again, Erika is here today. Tomorrow, be sure to stop by if you think of a question. You didn't get to ask it. If you have a question, you just maybe weren't comfortable in this format,
Yes.
stop by the table. We'll also get the autographs, photos, all of that down there.
Yes, I have photo ops